The sex was amazing and no holds barred, with her constantly saying things like, "I want to practice this thing I might have to do for a scat scene. Are you
Wait, what's scat? Let me Google it. Scat. Is scat a word? Why do you know that? Why do you know that? Why do you know that? Yo, get help. Get help. And that was a bad clap. And today we got Experience Dating a P-Star Part 2. Now, I react to Part 1 on SXY, and I decided I wanted to steal and take this for myself and react to it on my personal channel. You already know the vibes. 1 curse, 3 push-ups. Be sure, before I get things going, to check out my other channels. I have this channel, obviously. I have Yoyo Plus for evergreen reactions, like reactions to crazy stuff that happens, like Karens and all that. But I also started a VOD channel because some of y'all be talking about like how y'all miss the streams and stuff. Not Yoyo VODs. All the VODs are gonna go up there. They're gonna be edited too, so they're not gonna be like raw with like a bunch of silence and stuff. So I think you should check those out. And they're time-stamped, so you can skip through and like be ahead on reacts. So that being said, let's just get this going. You already know the vibes. Let's get it going. Talk to me.
porn stars? What was it like? For those who dated someone in adult entertainment, one freshman year of college, I dated a guy I knew from high school before he got into
Oh, this one's a guy. What's it like to date a guy P-star? That's a clip. That's a clip. But like, huh.
the adult film industry. We started talking, and he was upfront about his work, so we set some boundaries and continued dating. The first red flag
I
appeared
want to know what the boundaries are.
when he kept asking if he could record me. I kept saying no since I didn't want to be online in that way, and it just wasn't something I was comfortable
Please don't tell me he recorded you in secret, bro.
with. A few weeks into our relationship, a friend reached out to catch up, and I mentioned my boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
I guess word had
Bro, I thought he was gonna recognize him.
gotten out about his porn work because my friend asked if I was in one of his recent videos. I said no because he'd never recorded me. But when I checked his profile,
Do not tell me he recorded you in secret. How do you? Don't tell me that. 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 Don't tell me that.
there I was, recorded in a video from behind, with the most degrading and insulting title. I
What was the title? What was the title? What was the title?
absolutely mortified and heartbroken.
Well, you're not gonna tell me the title? I think that's just bad storytelling. I know it was like degrading, but like I feel like that's just bad storytelling.
I had no idea he'd filmed or posted it.
Oh wait, if they told me the title, I'd be able to look it up. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm an idiot. I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna lock in. That was bad. You're right. 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 Toxic drip with the resub. Thank you, boy. Right. My fault. That's me. That's me. That's me.
My friend tried to calm me down, saying it hadn't gotten much attention and that no one could tell it was me since my face wasn't in it.
Right.
But I was in shock when I confronted him, asking why he would do something so cruel. His response was, "I'm just hard-headed, I guess." I told
You're also just committing a felony. You're getting sued. What do you mean you're just hard-headed, I guess?
him to take it down, which he did, but he seemed completely indifferent to how much he had violated me. I ended things with him and blocked him everywhere.
Right.
I haven't spoken to him since.
Understood.
Story 2. A girl I dated in high school ended up being an escort, an amateur adult film star.
Okay.
She was on Connect Pal and later moved to OnlyFans.
Yo, do y'all know anyone that does OnlyFans? Crazy topic, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, no one I knew did it until the freaking pandemic. I don't know what it was, what it is about the pandemic, but the second that started, like 3 people I went to high school started it. I don't know what was in the air. Well, I mean, COVID was in the air, but like, it was just like one after the other, bro. I don't know what happened. It was crazy. Like, it was crazy. It was people that I wouldn't even expect to have done it.
Fans. She was a super proper church-going girl, Bible studies and pledges
It always be those. It always be those.
to be pure. She was a real freak. Sex was amazing. The first time I was even expecting it. I didn't have any protection.
One of my family members is a mainstream corn star. Do you get like a family discount? All right, my fault. fault. Okay. I feel like that's a genuine. Do you have like a, you know how like when I do a sponsorship, I have like an affiliate link. Do you have one of those? I'm just trying to support like small family businesses. Right. My fault. Okay.
She just spat in her hand, rubbed her back whole, and told me to stick it in her.
Whoa!
We dated till the end of high school. She was going to a very nice private college. Her dad is a professor there, and I was going to the local state university. I thought we could stay together, but she wanted to have more fun and date other people. We stayed connected and had booty calls throughout college. One of those booty calls, she told me she was seeing an older guy who was paying for her apartment, but they weren't exclusive. I was okay. Cool, that sounds like a sweet deal, thinking now she was probably a sugar baby. She later got into the cam stuff. A few years later, she called to ask if I could pick her up from the police station.
I've had someone call me to ask me to bail them out too, bro.
She was arrested for escort work. I was chewing her out
Not for that. She didn't get arrested for that, but
about what the F she was doing as a hooker. She said it was a misunderstanding. A guy offered her $300 for spending time with him, but when they went up to the room, he turned out to be a cop and arrested her.
Oh, why is it illegal to do that? Wait, why is it illegal to sell that? Could someone give me a valid reason, or is it just because they can't tax it? Is that the only reason? It's consensual. No, she's not underage. It's consensual. Like, I actually really don't know. Disease and health issue? What? That's not why. You can get diseases and health issues from so many other things. Are you serious? Paid sex, that's gonna be the thing that gets us diseases? Are you serious? It's not government run. That's what I'm thinking. Like it has to be taxes, which is crazy. It has to just be because of that.
I stopped communicating with her. Then she texted out of the blue, asking if she could borrow $900 because her brother Marcus needed to get out of jail. I was like, girl, I've known you since high school. You have one sister. I've never seen anyone in your family
Oh, wow. She tried to hold him.
named Marcus. She finally told me he was her boyfriend/manager.
You want me to bail out your freaking boyfriend?
I told her no. Just last year, I saw a news piece about some guy
Oh, it was the AIDS epidemic. Okay.
named Marcus being arrested for escort service ring. I texted to see if she was all right, and she had moved up to Colorado to get away from him. Crazy stuff story, many years ago, probably 2007 to 2008, if my math is right. I started dating an exotic dancer in college.
Okay.
I learned that until very recently, she lived in California, in a place she called Corn Valley.
Whoa, wait. I think I've heard of Corn Valley through videos. No. Not like that. Wait. Because I reacted to part 1. This is a part 2. Wait. This is a part 1. This is a part 1. I mean a part 2. That's why I know what it is. They said Corn Valley in the other video. Stop. Don't do that.
If I'm remembering correctly, it was San Fernando. She did adult films there for a while right after high school, made a respectable amount of money, and moved to the East Coast to go to college.
Right.
Dating her was a wild experience. I constantly felt like I was on the verge of being replaced. She did whatever she wanted whenever the whim struck
Wait, yeah, this exact story was in part 1.
her, and I could tell she was always probing me for insecurity, which I
Wait, no.
She was incredibly conceited and would basically only talk about herself. One day, she didn't show up to the coffee shop
Yeah, because she was with another dude. Bro, they put the same video. Okay, no, that's why I know what it is. It's the same video.
with. We had one more date for dinner and drinks, but after that she got busier and eventually
Yeah, and then she ended up
Still,
being with another
I could
dude.
tell she was trying to move forward, or for worse. We were married years before she did it. She stopped at story 5.
Okay.
I was married to someone who became a very high-level OnlyFans girl. In
Okay.
real life, she was nothing like she was on camera, for better or for worse. We were married years before she did it. She stopped after a few years. Then a couple years later, we divorced. Not related to sex work at all. The money was
Okay.
fantastic. It paid for vehicles, vacations, etc.
Bro, I know that bread is stupid.
I mean, to us, it was just play money. We both worked day jobs. But she was a fantastic, wholesome woman, and the last person in the world you'd expect to be doing adult films. But she was uniquely very attractive, and that's enough to make a ton of cash.
Okay.
I guess I ended up divorcing her because she was never a good partner before or after the OnlyFans. I worked more and made more money than her, and when we were doing OnlyFans, I spent up to 20 hours per week marketing for her.
You were doing your wife's OnlyFans marketing. Hey guys! Buy my wife's nudes! That was you. That was you? That's you? That's you. You was doing that. Matter of fact, bro. It's in the corner for you. Right there. Right there. That's crazy. That's crazy. That doing all that and not being in the video is crazy. That is insane. Would I edit my... I'm a great video editor. I'm really good at comedic timing. I can color correct. I can sync sound. Would I edit my wife's OnlyFans videos, bro? No. Couldn't do it. Well, how much? No, couldn't do it.
And doing video and photo editing. She never cooked a single meal during our entire marriage, and she had 2 chores: clean the bathroom and vacuum. I did everything else, even though she had significantly more free time. The straw that broke the camel's back was that
or her back was getting broken already, so the camel is just like residual.
Ended up seeing my lifelong serious crush for 24 at a funeral that night. I confessed it all, only for her to tell me she felt the same, only way more than I even did. So
Wait,
I said,
what?
effort, I'm giving this a shot. It worked out better for me by far. Edit. The sex with my ex-wife was mediocre at best, and I taught her everything she knew. Story 6.
Dang, you could low-key be a coach, because if you taught her good enough for that, and then she was able to take that knowledge and become a corn star off of it, you might have something too, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I met and casually dated a successful OnlyFans girl for a while after connecting on a dating app. A couple of months in, I discovered she was involved in OnlyFans and made a shocking amount of money. I got suspicious when she bought 2 Ps, 5S in one day without batting an eye. We had a great time together. She was down to earth, recently divorced,
right,
and the sex was fantastic. I asked a bit about her OnlyFans, and she showed me some of her content, mostly nudes and solo shots, plus a few with her ex-husband.
Do not show me a video of you going to Pound Town with your ex, bro. Don't show me that. I don't want to see it. I've always said, bro, the one thing that would actually crush me to my soul is a she's busy text. Because I don't want to see someone that I'm attracted to having sex. I don't want to see that. Like, that's like, imagine like I meet with someone and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a content creator. Here's some of my videos. And they're like, oh, I'm a content creator too. And she shows me her phone and it's her like getting blown out. That's actually ridiculous. I don't think I'd be able to do that. She's busy right now, little bro. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I would not do that, bro.
But nothing too wild. She revealed the thousands of DMs she received, and I believed her when she said she never took any chats. Further, it became amusing that all these guys wanted her attention, yet I was the one getting to sleep with her. We briefly discussed creating content together, but I never felt fully at ease with it.
No.
I have many identifying tattoos, and I didn't want our time together to feel like a job or involve money changing hands. Life got busy for both of us, and eventually we stopped seeing each other. Story 7. I dated a girl when I was 19. She was wild, complete opposite of me, and taught me a lot about just not giving a post her child.
Ah, they posted this one too. Why are they reposting stories, bro? Come on, bruh. I've seen this one.
I worked in the adult film industry during the 80s and 90s.
Right.
Behind the camera, I dated several of the women in the business back then, though it was rarely
Bro, apparently the cameramen be like OD going crazy on these girls too. I did not know that.
anything serious. Some were just really fun to be around. One day, I was on a shoot filming this stunning woman in action. We ended up talking for about 2 hours. While waiting for
How do you like record someone have sex and then think that's my wife? There go my, like, how do you think that?
another girl to show up, I asked if she wanted to grab dinner, and we did. Long story short, we're still...
Like, she's When he asked her out, she's probably still like sweating and stuff. She's probably still out of breath. Her back hurt. Like, what? I ain't gonna lie, he saw the moves and decided to recruit her, bro.
Married today. So yeah, the first time I met my wife was filming her having sex with another guy. Go figure story 9. I was with a strip dancer for a while who ended up doing adult movies eventually down in Miami. Also ended up overdosing on drugs down in Miami and dying too. I am still...
All right. No. Yeah. All right. Bet. No. Okay. All right. No. Okay. All right. Bet. I'm following. I'm locked in.
not over that shit. She was the best person I knew. Super fun to be around. Very unselfish, friendly, kind to people. Like if she saw them getting picked on, she would defend them. She was also really crazy and tough. Actually, I saw her get in multiple fights before, and even took down a dude once. But she wasn't butch. She was very feminine. She was my best friend, and I really loved her a lot. It was just unfortunate that her life was pretty much a tragedy from start to finish. Sexually violated by her dad from the age of 7.
Stuff like that is tragic because, like, doing something to a 7-year-old is, like, easily one of the most deplorable things you could do because that kid does not recover from that. Does not recover from that. That's terrible.
Subsequent substance abuse issues.
Of course, like, that just makes sense.
Until the very day she died 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I never had as much fun with anyone else. She was obviously very promiscuous in life. I mean, like before she even started strip dancing and all that, but that never bothered me. I kind of figured there were some underlying abuse issues, so I didn't hold all that against her. I just got used to it. It wasn't like flagrant about it in front of me. I just knew it went on when I wasn't around, and it didn't really even bother me that much at all. I genuinely loved her, though it really devastated me when she died. I was in rehab when it happened, and I left the program and got high when I got the news and overdosed myself twice in...
Oh my God! Romeo and Juliet ass story.
2 days.
I said ass story.
But I eventually got clean sober 4 years now.
Congratulations.
Story 10. I've dated 3 women. Nothing too serious, but it was interesting. All 3 had similar issues that were pretty obvious from the start. They were all...
How do you go 3 for 3 with corn stars?
...slow to open up or be vulnerable. They all had serious substance problems and clearly carried some kind of trauma from their past. Their love language was sex. Unsurprisingly, that's how they said thank you for even the smallest favor. It was often more over the top and flamboyant than when we were just having normal sex, which was more about satisfying the urge. There was a lot of it as well. It's how they showed affection. No hard feelings toward any of them. One of them is still working in the business as an actress.
Okay.
One went behind the camera, and one left completely married a millionaire and now lives in Vegas. The latter 2 seem to be doing better, hopefully. The one still in the business hasn't changed much, but I haven't spoken to her in a while, so I hope she's gotten help too. Overall, It was an interesting experience. They were all sweet people at heart, dealing with a lot. I sincerely wish them all well.
Yoyo drop the Bloom merch soon.
Story 11. I was really young and from a small town. While she had already experienced a lot, she'd been picked by Penthouse and spent a few years in the strip club scene. Our life experiences were worlds apart. I was still figuring myself out. I had been talking to another girl in our astronomy class all...
Yoyo should make an OnlyFans. I am 24 years old. Damn. What are we talking about? My feet have veins on them. My hands have calluses. My chest is hairy. You don't want to see that. Yummy. Okay, bro. All right, bro. All right, bro. All right, bro. Okay, bro. All right, you got it. You got it. There's no way I just looked at chat and saw yummy. Y'all are nasty, bro.
All semester. But one day she didn't show up and my ex swooped in. We exchanged numbers and she invited me to the club to watch her work. I thought I was being used for money by some stripper, but she actually liked me, or at least just wanted to hook up. I went to the club and was blown away by how she spun on the pole. We did a ton of drugs over the next few days and ended up saying we were official. I think she regretted it a few days later, but tried to make it work because I was so into it. No matter what I did, I couldn't impress her. I wanted to be the perfect boyfriend. At the start, she made it clear that we could only work if I let her do drugs. Just weed. But she was high all the time and hook up with this girl she was into, which I agreed to. I had a lot of fun and really liked...
You know, I had a girl try to tell me that she doesn't consider having sex with women as cheating. What are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about, bro?
Liked her, but I was way too into it.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, bro.
I moved in almost immediately. A few months later, she realized it wasn't for her and started acting really distant.
Did you let her? No, we did not talk after that conversation.
She broke it off, but a couple of days later, she found out she was pregnant. She didn't want to keep it, so I helped her through the abortion. She tried to make it work again afterward, but things got messy with games back and forth, and eventually we both just gave up. Every few years, we interact on social media. I think she's out of the industry now and had a kid a few years later. She's a cool chick, and I kind of wish we'd catch up just so I could show her I'm not a dweeb. I was just super young. My behavior during that relationship still bothers and embarrasses me.
We all got that though. Like just ways that we acted when we were younger. What's like something corny I did? Actually, I have nothing but aura, so I actually can't even think of anything. I've just always kind of been that, you know what I'm saying? I've just kind of think about last week. The dreads. Yeah, you're right. The pink wigs is pretty embarrassing. Actually, I will give that to you. Pink wigs is pretty embarrassing. I can't lie. I can't lie. When I do think about that haircut, it was a staple though. It was a staple for my channel. You drew Sonic OCs in class. Okay, bro. All right, bro. All right. We can stop naming. All right. I hate that y'all have that information.
Story 12. I dated a guy whose last LTR was an adult film star, and the industry left its impression on him. Their story was that his family owned a video rental store in the 80s and 90s when it was really big business. They got in on the ground floor of VHS and regularly were invited to parties at the Playboy Mansion.
Okay.
He met an adult film star at one of the parties and they started dating. He owned a contracting business and she did films part-time. He wanted to get married and settle down, but she liked the independence and the money. They went around and around, but she wouldn't quit doing films. So they broke up after 4 or 5 years. He was devastated after that. He couldn't settle down. Compared all women to hookers, and women were somewhat disposable to him. He pursued me hard, but our relationship never took off. In my mind, I still cannot separate him from the damages of the adult film industry 10 years later. Story 13. Not exactly a star, but I dated a young woman who did a few XXX scenes with known producers, and when we were dating, it was her career, she told me on the first date.
Okay.
And I was a little taken aback, but still game since she was so gorgeous and sexy. It was perfect for me at the time, coming off a long-term relationship and also feeling the last of my young man oats as I turned 40. We dated on and off for almost a year. She was beautiful and smart and fun to hang around with. But she was a little broken inside, with little self-esteem and a strong desire to please a father figure, I guess, and so young, though she had wisdom and intelligence beyond her years. In the end, the age and dynamic made it a little uncomfortable, and we stopped seeing each other, though we hooked up a few times subsequently. The sex was amazing and no holds barred, with her constantly saying things like, "I want to practice this thing I might have to do for a scat scene, are you..."
I want to practice this move on you before I do it in a scene. Wait, what's scat? Let me Google it. Scat. Is scat a word? Why do you know that? Why do you know that? Why do you know that? Yo, get help. Get help. I mean, we got the internet. I have the same access to the internet that you do, and I did not know that. I'm over here thinking she's practicing positions. She's practicing. How do you practice that? Ew, bro. No, don't practice that on me.
Game, and telling me how she'd had a crush on me forever.
I don't care. I don't care. Do not practice that on me.
She switched effortlessly between film star talk and real intimacy in bed, which was super hot and made both feel very genuine. She was like some magic phenomenon that made me feel better after a period of loss and
Bro, and the thing is, I'm a Google images searcher. It's like when I search things, I search images. Like I always press image because I'm a visual learner. I am so glad I didn't do that. Goodness gracious. Let me clear my history, bro. Get this off of my screen.
Morning, without asking barely anything but attention and affection in return. I think it filled both our needs at the time, but was never going to be a long-term intimate relationship, which is a shame because I thought very highly of her. We were just in wildly different places in our lives. I think that now, with maturity on both of our parts, we'd be more compatible, but that's life, right? Sometimes we meet the right person at the wrong time. Story 14.
Talk to me.
I've dated 2 women. One was the typical dancer turned model turned exotic dancer turned adult movie star. The other was your average OnlyFans content creators. The 2 in their social circles couldn't be any more different. The first was an awesome human, and while we didn't work out,
I was about to say, I bet the stripper's cooler than the OnlyFans model.
I still hold a lot of respect for her.
Bro, I've heard strippers are really cool people, like in person. I've heard that.
She's a real turn now and doing well. Everything about her career is pretty generic, except she got out before it consumed her. She started exotic dancing and modeling to pay for college, took a few solo and FF movie roles to get more money. That led to a few MF, and then to a few orgies, and finally one gang bang.
She had a run. She had a run. That's a good run. You don't go through all of that without at least almost touching an M, if not touching an M. She got bread. I'm really MVP stats. I'm not mad at those stats. Like, it's not Hall of Fame, but it's definitely like, oh, you do this. Like, you did this. I think that's a good run. She's going platinum. I don't know about platinum, but she definitely got like a gold record on her. Like, it's not God's plan, but it's definitely like Mob Ties. Mob Ties is a good song. Toosie Slide. It's a Toosie Slide. Wagwan Delilah. That's crazy. That's her. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I met her right as she was getting out. Our first date was 2 nights after her GB. Sex was amazing, and she craved more intimate sex most of the time. But she was a performer, and if I wanted to roleplay something, she'd nailed a part. She also had zero jealousy and was strongly bi. I think she was more sexually into women and being hot up with a great personality. The second was someone I dated for a short time, but she really made an impact. It's really my fault that I ignored all the warning flags, basically, in the pandemic. She lost her job, and she, like everyone else...
Was she a girl that started an OnlyFans during the pandemic? Because I literally called that out, bro. It
seemed...
Oh my... Holy forehead veins. I mean, holy forehead wrinkles.
Yeah. Started an OnlyFans. At first, it was her doing solo stuff. Then she added me without my face, and things were going well. She was making decent money, learning all about film and editing,
okay.
And it wasn't bad. But as soon as she started losing subscribers, all those ignored warning signs came out in force.
Uh-oh.
Every minute of her life was about how she needed more subscribers. Why no one thought that she was pretty...
She sound like me for real. Anymore. Hey, bro, you got to start 7 different OnlyFans pages. Hey, man. Say, man, that's the only way. That's the only way. If you need more views, just start another channel, bro. Yoyo, my second animation channel that's coming out. Not Yoyo, Yoyo Plus, Yoyo Gaming, not Yoyo VODs. Yoyo 808, second animation channel, gaming, not Yoyo, Yoyo Plus, Yoyo VODs. I feel like I'm missing one. SXY. Hey, man. Say, man.
And it wasn't about the money at that point. It was all about feeding her ego. She started talking with people online about doing collabs, then about surgeries, and it just spiraled into chaos. She started hanging out with Botox queens with collective IQs that couldn't break triple digit. I was planning to break it off, but ended up doing so on the day she came over with the most ridiculous-looking duck lip. I couldn't look at her talk without wanting to bust up, laughing and crying for her. She came over hoping to do AMFF with her friend, and I just couldn't. During this time, I probably met around 20 successful and hot content creators.
How are you coming in contact with these women? Are you a cameraman?
They were all trash.
Yo, how is he coming in proximity? Pause, because, you know, the topic matter. But how is he in proximity with these people?
Story 15.
Talk to me.
I dated a girl long distance when I was a teenager who went on to do amateur adult films.
Okay.
She had an OnlyFans under a different name some time ago. I only found out a few months back when I stumbled across an album of her nudes and recognized her despite her face being in them. I can't say I was surprised. She'd been groomed and abused as a kid.
That always does it. Now, see, I hate when they add this detail because then it makes it go from like interesting to sad because like she's just a victim at this point, bro.
Basically by every guy she dated. Used to get naked on Ungle for old guys when she was 15, etc.
There you go. And out the window goes my opportunity to make joke, bro. We're just gonna listen to this story.
I think going through what she went through messed with her sexual
Of course it did. Of course it. You don't recover from that.
development, made her hypersexual. She'd cheat as well, just had no control over her sexual urges at all. She's now a he story 16. I met a
He story 16. She's now a he. Oh, she trans. Okay, got it.
cam girl at a bar 8 years ago and hooked up that night. I thought it would just be a one-time thing until a few months later she reached out and invited me to her place,
Okay.
which turned out to be much more luxurious than I expected. Apparently,
Nah, them cam girls got bread, bro.
she was making a great income and had fans sending her expensive gift. She must have been more popular than most. but I
Right.
never bothered to look her up. I visited her a few times, and we'd go out for dinner and drinks, then end up messing around back at her place.
Okay.
Sometimes she'd show me her streaming sessions, but I wasn't that interested.
I'm not here to watch your streaming sessions. I'm not gonna lie. Come over and watch me work. No. I'm good. I will not be a chatter. I will not be a subscriber. I'll be a viewer. I'm good. You got that. Don't even tell me when you're going to work. Just ignore me. Just ignore me. Just text me when you're free. Nope. I'm good. I am good. I am good.
I'd spend the night, but every
I might rage you after a stream, but like other than that, like I'm
time I fell asleep, she'd
imagine if I could raid that.
stay up. And when I woke up, she'd still be awake. She was really nice, and I could tell well she had at least some genuine feelings for me. I'd wake up to lewd selfies and get messages like I miss your kisses and such. I think I could have tried to pursue something serious. She was fun to be around, let me be myself, and was extremely attractive. The issue was that there was no way my family would accept her being in adult movie industry, and honestly, I don't think I could handle it either. We eventually drifted apart, mostly
You have to be a because I don't like when people try to like say that these people don't deserve love because they do. Everyone deserves love. But you have to be a different type of strong. You have to be a different type of strong to deal with that stuff, bro. The people exist. The people who do it exist because like they get married all the time. I could not imagine having that level of mental fortitude, bro. Adam 22 type strength, Sneeko type strength. Okay, wait, those two aren't good examples, bro. There's normal men who are married to P-stars, bro.
because I started distancing myself. Even though I'm in the best relationship of my life now, I still think about her and hope she's doing well.
Break up with your girlfriend, bro. If you still think about your ex, you should not be in a relationship. Listen to this intro again.
We eventually drifted apart, mostly because I started distancing myself. Even though I'm in the best relationship of my life now, I still think about her and hope she's doing well.
Ew.
Story 17. I dated a girl for a few months in 2017. She tried to hide from me that she had worked in adult films in the recent
This cake is freaking ugly, bro.
past, less than 6 months before I met her.
Chill guy enjoys you. What's poppin', boy?
I'm not going to lie. Sex was great, and she was open for anything in bed, even threesomes with some of her friends. A few months after our relationship started, she finally confessed that she had worked in films for around 2.5 years.
That cake was freaking ugly as heck, bro.
She had quit the industry. I wasn't expecting this, but somehow I wasn't surprised. Maybe due to her very open and kinky attitude towards sex.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, I loved sex with her, and I don't have any problems with girls that are very open about sex. But it's definitely something unusual coming back to her old profession. I was surprisingly okay with that, especially since she was retired now. However, around the same time that she confessed this, I also found out that she was a drug user, and that was the deal breaker for me.
Right.
Story 18. I've dated 2 male adult film stars in the past.
Bro, how are these people having multiple?
Not at the same time. Neither lasted very long, but it was all right while it lasted. Both guys used the money to fund their tech startups with varying success, so I caught them on the tail end of their sex work career. One guy is now very successful and has an app/website that I see around pretty often. He was sweet, very romantic, but talked a lot and was incredibly impatient. And
Right.
man, he had great taste in fancy restaurants. The other guy was getting kicked out of a bar for doing coke in the bathroom last time I
Right.
saw him.
Duality.
He had a pretty rough life, I think, and had some other issues going on. I also think this guy, I had ties with some organized crime. His apartment always had shipments of arms going in and out. Very strange. Both always paid for everything, were strictly monogamous and pretty protective of me around other guys. They also had a fair amount of free time. Both relationships ended up ending. Not because of their job, but it just didn't click. Hope they're both doing well. Story 19. A
Yo-yo type of story. When have I ever given a vibe that this would happen to me?
close friend of mine in 2006 stated a top 10 vivid adult film star. He was a male stripper and entertainer himself and was all juiced up and always dressed up. The type of guy who had a stripper pole in the middle of his house. Man, where
Okay.
do I even start? They were pretty much living a wild and crazy life.
Just like Yo-yo for real. Once again, I think y'all forget, I am 230 pounds. For me to have a stripper pole in my house that I can actively use, it would need to be reinforced with galvanized steel. I could not use a stripper pole, bro. I am big. It's going to break.
I filmed them a few times, just randomly hanging out at his house, and he throws me a Sony camcorder. She turned out to be a super bitch to him, though not that he was Prince Charming or anything, mainly because she was on top of the world at the time, and she didn't budge for anybody in life.
Right.
She had her moments where she was pretty funny and great to be around. Funny story. She contacted him on my
Did you look into it or something? No, this is just an educated guess. What are you talking? Do you even know what galvanized steel is, Unc? Bro, it's steel that's been galvanized. What? Come on now. Come on, bro. We know that.
MySpace, actually an A, of course. She matched the look of the types he was dating, screwing at the time. But he wasn't into adult film.
His nose is galvanized steel. Okay, bro.
Mainly because he had no reason to be. He was living out a film star lifestyle, as is, being a stripper and owning/running a stripper business. So he meets up with her for a night out, and they start with a dinner at a nice restaurant in our hometown. Well, he calls me the next day, and this is what he says, bro.
Okay.
So last night I went out to dinner with this chick, and all these guys kept coming up to her, saying it was nice to meet you, and some asked for her autograph. After 2 to 3 guys, I asked her, "Are you as somebody?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm an adult film star. Is that okay?" I told her, "Frig,
We're already on the date. We're already on the date. Oh my god. No, not only are you a star, you're a known one. You're a known one.
yeah, I don't give an F," and I brought her to my house and we went to town, bro. This chick has 600 cc's.
What does CCs mean? Wait, what does CCs mean? 600 cc girl. Damn! All right.
Man, I love it. I was just cracking up when he told me. Story 20. I went on a date with an adult film star, who at the time of the date I didn't know they were. We talked about a bunch of stuff, but when work came up, she was standoffish with talking about it. She said she wasn't sure if she was going to stay at her current job.
Okay.
She said being there was eating her up, and it made her sad to talk about while she was trying to decide if she would stay in her industry. And I just sort of left it at that. We had a good time, and I went back to her very pink apartment. We had sex, and I remember thinking this is too good. This feels professional, but of course it didn't register that she
This
actually was a
feels
friggin'
professional.
professional. The next morning, we grabbed breakfast, and I tried to ask if she was
I always thought like if you ever hooked up with like a P star, it wouldn't even be that good because like you're tired. Like for example, when I got kicked out of my house, I moved in with like a Mexican family, and the mom was she was a maid, not a maid. Well, she was a maid. She was a maid, but like the house was always dirty because she was too tired to like come home and clean. And obviously us kids, like we weren't the cleanest, but like, you know what I'm saying? So I figured it would be the same. I feel like it would be the same thing. You wouldn't have good sex at home because that's what you're doing all day. Like, once again, as an animator, I don't really draw for fun anymore because I'm always drawing at work. That's always what I thought in my head. No? Is that not a... I feel like that makes sense.
Was up for a second date. She said yes, but just told me not to ask about her job, and she would tell me about it when she was ready.
Huh. But hey, man, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys liked it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. That's going to be it from me. Peace.